Hello and a very good afternoon to all our viewers tuned in. You're live on ThePapare.com. It's the big clash between the defending champions. Their opening game here at Royal Complex is loud. The crowd slowly filling up here. They're hosting the Eagles of the Hill Capitals in Anthony's College. And to talk you through this game, I have Abdullah Yusuf. Hi, Abdullah.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Yusran. Yes, the defending champions have just taken the field, getting ready for their first encounter. Waiting the arrival of the Anthonians to take the field. Both teams are coming out for the first time for the season as we welcome everyone here to a very hot and blustery Reed Avenue grounds. It's a very hot and humid day, isn't it, Yusran? I think both teams will definitely need to take that into mind, keep themselves hydrated throughout.
Let's take a look at the Royal College team card. Vihan Mantila, Rajindu Jayasuri and Induvana Ilukpiti, all three experienced caps will be compiling that front row. Dev Vidarshana, Ishan Lakshita will be the loose forwards, and in the third row, Achita Radhishan, Kevin Samarsekar and Radesh Vijaysekar. In the backs, Ravin Chenuka and Malisha Pereira will combine for that important 9-10 combination, while Harshit Piris, Abdul Rahman, Lehan Gunaratna, the skipper, will be playing at the number 13 position, where it is always go ahead and clash position, while Chaminta Gunawardana and Chamudita Charuka will make that 15.
Yes, and this is the Anthonian team. Ushan Sanchita, Mohammad Umair, Ashan Polwatta, Sadukatu Korala, Jayan Amarasinghe, Janilka Silva, Mohammad Zaki, Matish Amarasinghe, who will be the skipper today, Malishka Pereira, Bevan Nishanta, Ushan Jayasuriya, Mohammad Nifraz, Madhava Fernando and Harish Shekwak, and fullback will be Hari Emmanuel.
The match official for today, Hassan Veranga, and assisting him on the touchlines will be Arunashant and Jeffrey Said. So we're all set. It's a tad bit early than we expected. This kickoff was due at 4:30, but we're kicking off at 4:15. When we're all set, both teams just waiting for that first whistle from referee. Here we go. A deep kick. The Anthonians let it bounce, so an early line out, which means early threat force in Anthony's.
Yeah, that's right. Malisha just putting that ball into touch. So good territorial gain for Royal. It's going to be a crucial part of this game, the line out. It's an area which Royal are extremely formidable in. It's interesting to see how they will match up this year. Last year they had the services of a wonderful exponent in Fadil Adhan. Not there this year, so it'll be interesting to see how they will make up for his loss. Nice spoil at the start by Achita Radhishan. Looks like they'll be using him as their primary jumper this year. It's a key aspect of the game, the line out. Both these teams no doubt will want to try and get some dominance in this area earlier on.
This time around cleanly taken by the Anthonians. They're trying to counter-attack from their own half. Big tackle on him. Setting things up now. Looking for the clearance kick. Emmanuel doesn't get it right, and now Royal College immediately. The brilliant opportunity to open the scoring. Ravin to Radesh, the senior player. He goes down, runs laterally. Pereira switches directions. There's numbers opening out wide. Achita Radhishan just inching his way forward into the 5 meters. Radesh. Ravin to Radhishan once again. Still on his feet. He just short of that whitewash. Radesh once again. Good tackle on him.
Go rock form, blue.
St. Anthony's College staying on the fringes. Good line speed. This time around working the line. Royal College, and a big tackle on the skipper Lehan Gunaratna by his opposite number. Radesh has been all over the field. Good run there by Malisha Pereira, and Ravi now sends it out wide. This will be the first try, and he scores. That's Samita Gunawardana scoring the opening try for Royal College in this brand new Dialog Rugby 2020.
What a start by Royal. All started from that wonderful charge down, and then they just kept on building up phases. Again, Royal just showing tremendous patience, not trying to force the issue at any stage, and eventually putting the finishing touches. So that's just the start which Royal wanted, and that's the start they have got. 5 points to nil up. It just shows, Yusran, that you just can't make any sort of mistake, especially when you're into their own 22 with this Royal team, because they will definitely punish you. We saw how patient they were. They just built up the phases repeatedly and eventually waited for the correct moment to go over the line. And that's just the start that Royal would have wanted.
Yeah, I think St. Anthony's College initially should have cleared the ball without trying to counter-attack from their own 22. I think they were trying to set up a wall and make the kick more easy, but unfortunately for Emmanuel Harry, the kick did not go right.
And the conversion goes astray, but Royal nonetheless off to a flying start here. Try. Royal showing tremendous patience, just waiting for the correct moment to go over, and just pounced on it to make use of that opportunity. So Royal up 5 points to nil, and it's important that the St. Anthony's just try and gain some parity as soon as possible.
A high hanging kick, collected cleanly, goes straight into contact to Rajendra Jayasuriya. Good run by the hooker. They have an advantage coming. St. Anthony's will be penalized for sealing. So early infringement by the Eagles. I think it's the pressure talking, Abdullah.
Yeah, that's right. Not good enough in terms of discipline on that occasion by the Anthonians. Going right off their feet in that ruck. Skipper Gunaratna finding some good touch. And this is the kind of situation where Royal just thrive on. Interesting to see whether they'll use that driving maul earlier on.
Number 3.
The territorial game is very important as far as Royal is concerned. Very, very dangerous whenever they enter the opposition's half. They know how to control the game, how to control position and make it count.
Rajendra with his first line out in this brand new year. Kevin Samasekara takes it cleanly, and now they're working the line. Lehan sends it to Chamudita. The wingers coming into play. Good tackle by Fernando.
Stay blue. Stay.
Ravin using his forwards. Slowly moving forward, switches directions. Samujita Gunawardana presents the ball quite well. Radesh takes 3 men to bring him down, but he loses the ball. So now an opportunity to counter-attack for St. Anthony's College, but they're just not holding on to possession. They'll need to be mindful to keep on holding, but in the end they win possession as the Royal College conceded a penalty. That was Radisha not rolling away.
It's a rare error by Royal. Usually very secure in contact, but on that occasion Rajesh Vijayratna losing the ball in contact, and Anthonians just showing a bit of enterprise in trying to throw that ball wide, trying to get something out of it, but nonetheless Royal trotted it, but just did not show good discipline at the breakdown on that time and conceding the penalty.
Radesh looks like he's in a bit of pain. He's a senior player. Was a vital part of that Royal pack last year, so it'll be very important that he's on the field this year as well, leading the forwards. Heavily strapped knee.
Can play number 8.
He's walking, so hopefully he'll be able to stay fit the entire game. If not, it'll be a big blow for Royal College. So play will resume as St. Anthony's College stump up a big touch finder, just 5 meters short of the 22. But they want to use their backs more often than the forwards. Although skipper Matish Amarasinghe is a part of that 8. Umar Mohammed
Number 1. Right.
had a good first line out,
Right. Close card nenpa ilang mang ilang option neta. Okay.
but his teammates would have to be very mindful to not just give away possession cheaply
Wait.
like they did earlier on, which resulted in a try for Royal College. Matish instructing his hooker. The number 2 jumper takes it, and now they're forming that rolling maul. So real tester for Royal College. They are moving forward. But a very good defensive effort by the defending champions. But the Anthonians as well doing very well to stay in play in field as the referee calls one. And the ball comes out. Madhava goes straight into contact.
Stay back.
Matisha Pereira looking for options. Matisha Amarasinghe with his first proper carry goes bulldozing, but doesn't go past the gain line. Unfortunately for number 4, he knocks it forward. So St. Anthony's College just not able to keep possession. Unforced errors, Abdullah.
Yeah, that's right. I thought that was a wonderful driving maul by the Anthonians, giving the Royalists a bit of their own medicine. But the good thing about that Royal defensive maul is they did not collapse it. They were patient. They just went on, regrouped, and just waited for the correct moment to stop that maul. But Anthonians did have a good platform to kick on from then, but unfortunately knocking the ball at the crucial moment.
Bind. Set. Steady both.
First scrum of the game in favor of Royal College. Ravin takes it from Radesh and puts ball to boot, collected cleanly there by Emmanuel Harry.
Stay.
Matisha Pereira. Not a good pass there. He saw the oncoming defender going straight to the number 13 Madhav Fernando, but still he put in the pass, but recovered well there, the Anthonians from there. Good contest there by the forwards. Kevin Samarasekara was right there on the tackle, and brilliant work done later on by Rajendra Jayasuriya, who was right there on the spot to turn over. Another penalty in favor of Royal College, and they definitely will go for touch.
Yeah, that's right. But again, wonderful work at the breakdown, just identifying the correct moment to go over. Jayasuriya got himself into a very good position, had a very strong base, and just managed to put enough pressure to pounce on that ball. So Royal at the breakdowns just showing their prowess, how strong they can be, using their physicality to good effect. And if the Anthonians want to pose a threat, they've got to ensure that they commit more players to that breakdown. So another line-out opportunity for Royal. Interesting to see what options they will take from here.
Achita Radishan has been their number 1 jumper so far, but this time around St. Anthony's College not letting Royal move forward through that maul. Did very well to collapse it legally. Royal College will have to go for other options now. Jayasuriya playing it close, the Royalists. Ravin to Kevin, who goes straight into contact. Gives quick ball to Malisha Pereira. Samudita, good step there by the wing. Shamit. Malisha once again to Radesh.
No, 3 no.
Who goes straight down on the ball, pops out. Think it was not a legitimate steal, so Royal College awarded another penalty. This is just unacceptable from the Anthonians.
It's interesting call again. It's the penalty is coming from the breakdown, and again Royal just have put that 5 meters out, and I think they'll be very clear on what they want to do from here.
යාට පස්සේ ටැකල් කරන්න බෑ.
Just had a couple of line outs so far. Royal have been pretty accurate in this area. Just 5 meters away,
Captain.
dare I say, what Royal will want to execute here. Been going for the number 2 place. Once again, Radishan. Nice collection, and Royal
Number 4, get
managed
back,
to set up the maul.
Four, get back.
Driving. Once you get that momentum from this kind of distance, it's going to be very hard to stop them. And Radish has gone over, and he has scored. So again, St. Anthony is from that distance. They were not going to stop that Royal maul once they got a bit of momentum. And Rajendra Jayasuriya, who earlier was wonderful at that breakdown, poached the ball brilliantly from that penalty. They've run the ball a couple of times, created a breakdown which resulted in another penalty, and again Royal just carrying on from where they left off last season, just piling up the points, and the Anthonians just don't seem to have an answer at the moment.
That was the typical Royal College try, using their signature rolling maul. And all 8 from that forward pack coming into play, but in the end, Vehan Mantila going over the whitewash, score a brilliant try. Malisha Pera, his second opportunity to add the extras.
So Malaysia striking it well, but just going off the left top right. It's important that Malaysia finds his range soon. As we have a look at this replay once again, the ball was set up, and once they set it up, if you don't put any counter pressure to that maul, it's going to be very hard once this Royal maul gets a bit of momentum. And with that, the Anthonians on the back foot, there was no one to keep guard, as Rajendra Jayasuriya just peeled off that maul to go over for Royal's second try. So we're just approaching the 15th minute of this first half, and Royal comfortably ahead, 10 points to 0.
From the restart, St. Anthony's College makes a fumble, so it'll be a center scrum once again. So the Anthonians, Abdullah, might have to just be kicking themselves for making these unforced errors. They're not showing any structure or composition. They're just, I think still it's the nerves that's getting them.
Yes, they do look very nervous, isn't it? I thought they did very well in the previous line-out which they had in Royal's half, where they got about a 15 to 20 meter gain from that driving maul. But other than that, they just haven't shown enough composure and discipline to make Royal count, and Royal have capitalized and made use of every opportunity they've got to put points on the board.
So Ravin from the base, Radishan feeds him the ball, but smothered there by Zaki. Nevertheless, recovers from it, Royal College. Vehan Mantila takes 3 men to bring him down.
No, release.
D-ball this time, using his backs, Malisha Pereira. Waiting for support to arrive, as Mantila once again goes crashing forward, but loses possession, and now St. Anthony's College have an opportunity in the corner. Good offload, and that will be the first try for the Antonians. Number 11, Ushan Jayasuriya. Brilliant work there, making maximum use and capitalizing off that unforced error which the Royalists made.
Absolutely, against the run of play. Now that's the second occasion that Royal have lost the ball in contact. It's something that Royal do not do very often, but I guess it's just the beginning of the season, but a lot of credit to St. Anthony's, how well they countered from that position. As we have a look at that once again, just losing the ball and just having the presence of mind to spread that out wide. And then again, wonderful supporting line as well by Jayasuriya to put the finishing touches and the first score for St. Anthony's. So Anthonyans on that occasion good enough to capitalize from Royal's mistake. So Emmanuel to put the finishing touches to that move. With the conversion, strikes it well. And it's over. So 10 points to 7. St. Anthony is back in the game. It's been all Royal thus far, but against the run of play of a Royal knock-on, the Anthonians good enough to counter-attack and have just narrowed the lead down to 3 points now.
Making Royal pay for their mistakes. Like you said earlier, not Royal don't make mistakes often in contact. So that would have definitely boosted the Anthonians up. We'll just wait and see if that could change how they played so far. Just on the 10 meters the kick, so I think it'll be line out for St. Anthony's.
It's a wonderful hanging kick by Malisha. Just striking, converging Royal player's hand and going into touch. So the territorial game is going to be important for the Anthonians. Another nicely taken clean line out. They spread it out wide. Some nice short passes. Again spreading the ball out wide. Some lovely hands. Anthonians showing some good enterprise.
Stay back.
Stretching this Royal defense. Breaking a couple of tackles. And spreading it out wide. Manuel looking for some territorial advantage, but Malisha at the back to cover. Shows and goes. Wonderful bit of skill by Malisha. Passes the ball on, but the Anthonian cover defense getting there on time. Nonetheless, Royal have managed to retain possession. It's passed on. Ball gone back, says the referee Veeranga. So Royal still do have possession. Pass the ball wide. Nice little grubber kick. And that's a good kick to just settle things down a bit. It's important from Royal's point of view that they do play the territorial game wisely.
Time off.
The Anthonians have shown how dangerous they can be off the counter attack.
1 minute break. 1 minute break.
So that'll be a 1 minute breather for both these teams as we just approached the 20th minute.
Also, if you have not yet subscribed to ThePapare.com's YouTube channel, you're missing out on a lot of sports content that's all around the country, international content as well. So we have analysis, highlights, replays, and all sorts of interesting content that you'd like to watch if you are a sports fanatic. So make sure you subscribe to Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub, ThePapare.com on YouTube as well. And coming back into the game, I was quite surprised how another possession was lost when the ball carrier went into contact by that previous passage of play.
Yes, very unlike a Royal team to lose contact, but I guess you also have to give credit to the Anthonians. They have stood up defensively as well. They made their tackles when they need to. Just forced Royal on a couple of occasions to turn the ball over. And that's the reason, despite Royal's dominance in that first 20 minutes, they find themselves just 3 points behind.
Ball retention is a key factor in winning games, and I think so far in this 20 minutes Royal did that, but just not executing it well enough. And St. Anthony's College, very confident team from the start. They are looking to run the ball from their own half, although it costed them 5 points in the start. Nevertheless, they're still using the same ploy, and I think The new coach Sumedha Malavan has injected that into this team. Loses the ball forward. So Royal College with another golden opportunity inside just 5 meters away from the 22 meters.
Yes, but you just sense that the Anthonians are trying to play far too much rugby in their own half. They were just going end to end without gaining much ground. And you just felt that it was a matter of time before an error was committed. So you've got to be a bit smart when you are playing rugby in your own half. Territorial advantage is a big part of schools rugby, especially when you're playing against this Royal team. You're going into contact, they don't give much away, they will hit you behind the gain line. And on that occasion, the Anthonians were not able to get much front football either. They were just going laterally, as it were. The Royal defense showing patience to just draw that error.
And I don't think that is working for St. Anthony's College, because at both occasions that we've seen them trying to do this, it has never worked out for them. But Royal, on the other hand, using the opportunities that's been fed to them by St. Anthony's College and moving forward. So they have an advantage coming in as well. Malisha Pereira carries the ball forward.
Stay back, stay, please stay.
Slowly but surely this time around, Royal College will need to make sure that they hold on to possession. Ashita Radishan, good carry by the lad. Ravin sees space out wide, they have the numbers.
Stay.
Kevin Samarasekara to the new man in.
No, release.
Janindra Nanayakara with his first carry. Uses Lehan. That will be the third try for Royal College. Under the post by the skipper. Good running, supporting line, and in the end rewarded with a try.
Yes, some good composure and good patience shown by Royal there just to build those phases up. They're really testing this Anthonian defense. And skipper Gunaratna going over for Royal's third try. So it just shows the Anthonians, they've just got to be a bit more smart in how they play the game in their own half. Because Royal, whenever they have got into the Anthonian 22, have been clinical in how they have executed their attack. And that's the reason they find themselves up now 15 points with Malisha's conversion, which he slots over without any problem, extending the lead to 17 points to 7. So Royal very dangerous when they are in the 22. They just know how to build up the phases patiently. And the Anthonians were just going laterally, isn't it, in attack. Yusran not making any headway. They were just putting themselves under a lot of pressure. And the Royal defense good enough to just wait for the correct moment and pounce on whatever error the Anthonians do dish out.
It's high time that the Anthonians change their plans, change tactics. What they're trying is not working. They'll have to compromise.
Wait. Time off.
There's a bit of stoppage of play.
Time on.
All resolved, so we're back. Play will resume. Madhav Fernando with a high hanging kick. Collected cleanly by Kevin Samarasekara.
No.
Ravin from the base. Not once again a knock forward. But a referee wants to have another look. I think he thinks it was a bit high. He'll want to have a word with his assistant Aruna Shanta.
Don't think there was any danger in the tackle, but I think it was just the collision, how it happened.
Number 9 can play.
So the referee is just consulting with his assistant, asking if there was any sort of dangerous play there. And
Number 14.
the assistant referee
Captain, please control the under.
just stating that it was a bit high.
So captain.
Yes, it's an area that referees are very strict on. think anything malicious in that. The mitigating circumstances was probably the fullback was going a bit low when he was trying to catch the ball. He was in a squatting position, so it's probably resulted in why it was just a penalty alone. But nonetheless, a good attacking opportunity for the Anthonians. Just about 3 meters outside the Royals 22.
If they could replicate what they did in the first move through a wonderful rolling maul.
Captain, right? Numbers
Referee Veranga just instructing or refreshing Matish's laws on the lineouts, saying that the players can't go and come back in. But nevertheless, Royal have managed to steal possession. They're playing it at their own pace. Janindra Nanakara
release!
playing in close quarters. Gives it out to Malisha Pereira. He can't put it out on the full. So he let up ball. Play is still alive, and now Senandanis have an opportunity, but unfortunately for Madhava Fernando, not able to catch the ball. A little too eager, Abdullah.
Golden opportunity for the Anthonys. I thought that was a wonderful counter attack by Malishka Pereira. The scrum half identified that gap brilliantly. And Madhava did extremely well to run a good line, but unfortunately not able to hold on to that ball. He had supporting players outside as well. And the line was there for the taking, but unfortunately for Royal's sake, Madhava not being able to hold on to the ball. But the Anthonians have shown in the counter-attack how dangerous they can be. It's something which Royal will need to take closer look at in terms of that kick and chase.
Royal College will be looking to clear ball. Big carry there by the centre. Now the forwards coming to play. Jayasuriya. Support not arriving on time, and a brilliant steal there by Atuko Orala. Takes it quickly. They have the not 10 meters advantage coming in as well, so St. Anthony's College sparking things up, switching momentum their way. In the corner. Gives away another penalty. Clearly hurt the referee, Kevin Samarasekara.
Captain.
So the Anthonians are very dangerous when the game is opened up, isn't it? And that's the area that is trying to exploit Royals' defensive weaknesses from. It's important that if they are to stay in this game, they try and up the pace as fast as possible, because it's very clear that their strength very much lies in their back play. So the longer they try and keep the ball in tight situations, it will be to Royals' advantage. But another great attacking opportunity for the Anthonians. They've opted for a scrum from that penalty. So probably realizing that is the best chance they have of unleashing their three quarters.
Steady, both steady.
Malishka Pereira. Matish picks it up from the back, beats the first defender, bumps off the second, still on his feet, puts in the offload, and now they have numbers out wide. Matishka should have been a little bit quicker. Emmanuel Harris, big tackle on him.
Stay back.
Switches directions now. Good loop around there. Matish. Amara Singh, the skipper, just not able to hold on to that ball. So this has been the story for St. Anthony's College all along this 28 minutes. They come in close, but execution is just not there.
It's a lovely creative play by the Anthonians, just doing their wraparounds just to create that bit of an overlap out wide. But just at the crucial moment, Yusran, they're unable to hold on to that pass. And that's just been the savior of Royal. Now, that's the second occasion that has happened. But these are real warning signs for Royal. It's got to tighten things up a bit. They've got to ensure that they hold on to position for a long period of time, because whenever they do give position to the Anthonians, they've looked very dangerous.
Get back, get back, get back!
Ravin Chenuka once again now to, that was Lehan Gunaratna who, Malisha Pereira who cleared the ball. But another thing that has surprised me is Abdullah, the physicality of both teams. When you look at it at first glance, Royal College clearly the more physically dominant team. So I think that played a small role in that first 10 minutes when they came into the field.
Yes, and also tactically, I don't think Anthonians played it that smart either. They were trying to play far too much rugby in their own half and just putting themselves under pressure. At least 2 of those 3 tries came by them putting themselves under pressure and making an error. But they do look very dangerous and far more comfortable when they are in the other half. So maybe that's something which Coach Malawana will need to emphasize at that halftime break.
Not a clean line out, but nevertheless still possession with St. Anthony's College. Prop on prop there. Switches directions, opts to go in the blind side.
No, 6, no!
They're a bit too congested for me. And another knock forward. Butterfingers, Abdullah.
Yes, just when you feel that the Anthonians are building up some momentum, they undo all the good work that they have done by just knocking the ball down. Royals' rush defense so far has been quite effective as well. They are not giving much space, especially off face ball, to those forwards to get over the gain line. But when the Anthonians do move it to the outer channels, that is when they have been able to really cause some concern for the Royal defense. And that is something which they'll need to do more of if they are to try and narrow this lead.
Fine. Set. Steady.
So another scrum. It's been a stop-start affair as Ravin Chenuka takes his time. Lehan Gunaratna with a good grubber. A brilliant kick to just calm things down and go into the opposition half.
Yeah, that's right. Very clever by Lehan, just identifying a bit of space at the back of that Anthonian defensive line. Now it'll be interesting to see what tactics Anthonians employ from here. The last couple of times they've been in their half, they've just tried to run it, but without gaining much ground. First things first, they'll need to win this line-out ball. It'll be interesting to see from then on what kind of tactics they do adapt, whether they have learned from their previous mistakes.
Looks like they've not Abdullah. They're trying to run it once again, but hopefully after this phase they'll create that ball and Emmanuel Harris could put his team out of potential danger. Matish Pereira, Amara Singha going into contact, but once again running laterally. This play is not going anywhere for St. Anthony's College. Luckily for them, they have an advantage coming their way, and penalized at the breakdown is Achita Radishan, who's not rolling away. So lucky escape there for St. Anthony's.
Very lucky. I just cannot understand why they're trying to play so much rugby in their own 22. They're not going to gain much ground from that kind of situation with that Royal defensive line. Fortunately, Radishan just being penalized for not rolling away from the Anthonians' point of view. So give them an opportunity to just clear the lines, and they've managed to kick that into touch on the 40-meter line. So we're just a couple of minutes away from half-time. The Anthonians have pulled things back a little bit after Royal's initial onslaught.
Big fumble there in that line out. But looks like St. Anthony's College will have and retain possession. He has probably touched the Royal hand on its way down. The stop-start affair, Abdullah, it has been so far. And I agree with you. I really don't know why St. Anthony's College opts to play so much rugby in their own 22 when it already cost them 2 tries.
Yes, and also other than costing the tries, it's also very energy sapping, isn't it? You're always under pressure in your own half, in your own 22. Throwing the ball, it just gives the opposition defensive line so much confidence to run from their own when the opposition is trying to run. And here the Anthonians again just looking for some options. A lovely wraparound move, kicks it, but the Royal wing three-quarter very well positioned. And the Anthonians penalized for a late tackle. Bevan Nishantha, the guilty person on that occasion. And Lehan Gunaratne just slots it into touch, which brings the half-time whistle by referee Veeranga. So at half-time, Royal, courtesy of a very promising first 15 minutes, are leading 17 points to 7. But you'd have to say in those final 10 minutes, Anthonians did look very dangerous. So there's no doubt that it's going to be a very intriguing second half. And everything to play for in that second half, because I think the Anthonians would have got a lot of confidence as we have a look at the replays. First try by Royal. Chamudita Chanuka going over for Royal's first try. And then the famed Royal driving maul. Once they got a bit of momentum, there was no stopping that. And as ever, the beneficiary of that driving maul was hooker Rajendra Jayasuriya going over. And then this is where things just came to light as far as the Anthonians are concerned. Absolutely against the run of play. Hutija Jayasuriya putting the finishing touches to a wonderful counter-attack. Ushan Jayasuriya. And the conversion was comfortably put over by Emmanuel Harry to reduce the deficit. But Royal striking back courtesy, another Anthonian error. And on this occasion, skipper Gunaratne, lovely inside step to go over under the post, from which Malisha Pereira made no mistake with the conversion. So that was the final score in that first half. Royal leading 17 points to 7. And we'll meet you with the second half action soon.
New, long-lasting fragrances.
Oh, අපේ තරංකාරිය රිතුකි. ඉගෙනීම කන්දක් නම් රිතුකිට ඒක කෙන්දක්. ආදරේ කරන්න අමතක කළේ නෑ තරංකලාට. අම්මා ගෙදර නැති අතරේ. මේ තරම් දුරක් අවුරුදු 4ක් වයස ඇති පළමු තරංකාරිය ලෙස ඉතිහාසයට එක්වෙමින්
40 වසරක් තිස්සේ අති සාර්ථක ගමනක් අපි 40 වසරකුත් හෙටටත් ඔබට මඟ පාදන NDB අපේ කැපවීම ඔබේ ජයග්‍රහණයයි. New gold deodorants with long-lasting fragrances.
A tradition that dates back over a century. Chaos that captures your heart and soul. An extravaganza you cannot miss. A new decade of familiar madness. March Madness 2020. Exclusive coverage on ThePapare.com.
New, long-lasting fragrances.
Oh, අපේ තරංකාරිය රිතුකි. ඉගෙනීම කන්දක් නම් රිතුකිට ඒක කෙන්දක්. ආදරේ කරන්න අමතක කළේ නෑ තරංකලාට. අම්මා ගෙදර නැති අතරේ. මේ තරම් දුරක් අවුරුදු 4ක් වයස ඇති පළමු තරංකාරිය ලෙස ඉතිහාසයට එක්වෙමින්
40 වසරක් තිස්සේ අති සාර්ථක ගමනක් අපි 40 වසරකුත් හෙටටත් ඔබට මඟ පාදන NDB අපේ කැපවීම ඔබේ ජයග්‍රහණයයි. New gold deodorants with long-lasting fragrances. New long-lasting fragrances. New gold deodorants with long-lasting fragrances.
Saddle up.
Tuesdays,
We stand united.
a woman's place
Let's get it done, America.
is in the White House.
Ladies and gentlemen, President Elizabeth McCord.
I invite the American people to join me in this campaign for inclusion. I broke the White House.
Madam Secretary. New episodes, Tuesdays on AXN.
A tradition that dates back over a century. Chaos that captures your heart and soul. An extravaganza you cannot miss. A new decade of familiar madness. March Madness 2020. 28th February to 4th April. Live on Dialog Television, Channel 1 and Channel 16. Dialog Television, Sri Lanka's #1 television experience. A tradition that dates back over a century. Chaos that captures your heart and soul. An extravaganza you cannot miss. A new decade of familiar madness. March Madness 2020. 28th February to 4th April. Live on Dialog Television, Channel 1 and Channel 16. Dialog Television, Sri Lanka's #1 television experience.
Saddle up.
March 3rd,
We stand united.
a woman's place
Let's get it done, America.
is in the White House.
Ladies and gentlemen, President Elizabeth McCord.
I invite the American people to join me in this campaign for inclusion. I broke the White House.
Madam Secretary. The final season premieres March 3rd on AXN.
Gentlemen, start your engines. Oh, yeah. Get it. This is so cool. Look at that guy.
An exclusive on Dialog Television.
உங்கள் கிராமத்தில், உங்கள் நகரில், உங்கள் பிரதேசத்தில் உள்ள வீரர்கள் திறமையானவர்களா? அவளின் திறமைகளை நீங்கள் அறிந்து கொள்ள வேண்டுமா? தமிழ் பேசும் உங்களின் திறமைகளை உலகறியச் செய்யும் உங்களுக்கான யூடியூப் சேனல் www.youtube.com/ThePapare Tamil.
රුපියල් 5කින් මොනවද කරන්න පුළුවන්?
5කින් දවස මැච් බලන්න පුළුවන්නේ.
දැන් මුළු දවසම ක්‍රිකට්, රග්බි, ෆුට්බෝල්, වොලිබෝල් එකී මෙකී නොකී ඕනෑම තරගයක් බලන්න ඔබට වැය වෙන්නේ රුපියල් 5යි. පිවිසෙන්න.
Welcome back to live action here from the Royal Complex. You're logged on to ThePapare.com, and this is the Royal College versus St. Anthony's College Week 1 encounter of the Dialog Schools Rugby League 2020. It was a stop-start affair in the first half, but Royal College leading 17 points to 7 as St. Anthony's College restart, and immediately Royal College make a big error taken quickly by St. Anthony's College. Prop forward, Pulvatta. They have an advantage coming as well, but that has been the story of the first half, and looks like it's going to continue, Abdullah.
That's right, Anthonians just trying to catch the Royal defense snapping by taking that quick tap.
First knock on.
But just knocking the ball again at that crucial moment. Fortunately for them, referee has come back for the penalty. Kevin Samrasinghe just knocking that ball on, and supporting player was in front of Samrasinghe when he collected it. But just the start that the Anthonians would have wanted. Would have been ideal if they had managed to put the finishing touches to that quick tap. But it was not to be so. But nonetheless, they have got another opportunity
Number 9.
to launch an attack.
Crouch. Bind.
The difference being that first half was Royal took every opportunity they did get, but the Anthonians fluffed quite a few opportunities. Now it's interesting here, Yuzran, the scrum half of St. Anthony's has gone to the opposite end to feed the ball. It's not very easy for the hooker to hook with his across his right foot, as it were.
Set.
Yeah, definitely, but St. Anthony's College awarded a penalty, and they want to take it quickly. Fortunately for them, they are able to take it once again, because Malishka Pereira there for a second almost knocked it forward.
Please 10 meter.
Yes, the Royal front row a bit over eager on that occasion to just put a bit of pressure on the Anthonian scrum, being penalized by referee Veeranga as he's signaling there an early engagement. So on this occasion, the Anthony's bit confusing why they decided to go to touch after asking for a scrum on the previous occasion. They did not get an opportunity to launch an attack. So they've changed their tactic to go for a scrum this time.
Pretty sure Coach Sumedha Malavana must have knocked some sense into them at halftime, but St. Anthony's College moving forward, good technique from the line out. They're definitely giving Royal College a taste of their own medicine. Finally brought down.
Stay.
But good yardage gained by St. Anthony's College. Mati Samrasinghe offloads, and now inching close. That will be the... That almost was the try for St. Anthony's College, but referee will consult his AR. But brilliant move by the Antonians.
This wonderful bit of interplay, wonderful bit of offloading, wonderful bit of skill. Again, it just started off all from that wonderful line-out drive. So the try stands, and what a start by the Antonians in the second half. They struck immediately. As we have a look at that replay, first of all, wonderful bit of work by the forwards to gain some good groundage. Then just drawing the defense in, the Royal defensive line caught flat-footed. And the Antonians, through Harish Shivak, putting the finishing touches to that move. The conversion to come, so the score stands now as 12 points. To 17, so 10 points, 12 points to 17. Conversion to come and everything to play for now in the second half. So try scorer Shivak will try and put the conversion to narrow this lead further. Does not strike it particularly well, but the direction is good. So 14 points to 17. Antonians have drawn first blood in the second half.
Closing in, and what a way to start the second half for St. Anthony's. Unfortunately for them, they opted to go for a line out because obviously that's their strength. Then the scrum, had they opted for the same option earlier, who knows, they would have been able to score. But Royal College immediately showing signs of pressure, kicks it out on the full, so it will be a centre scrum in favour of St. Anthony's, giving them the opportunity to launch another counter-attacking move.
Yes, skipper Gunaratna on that occasion just overcooking that kickoff. It's important for Royal to just try and get hold of some position and just calm things down. They've got to try and get into St. Anthony's half and just spend some time there. They've got to get hold of some position because the Antonians, they are looking very dangerous whenever they do enter Royal's half. A centre scrum, a wonderful attacking opportunity.
Bind. Set. Steady.
Well, if there was the more obvious feed on the one side, I don't know what it was. That's just a shocking error really by the Antonian scrum half. I don't know what he was thinking. Right in front of the scrum. Can just have a look at that feed again. That's not the way you're supposed to feed the ball into a scrum. Absolute lapse of concentration. So Royal with a scrum of their own now at the halfway mark, right in the middle.
Ravin Shenuka feeding in Lehan Gunaratna. Brilliant move there. All the backs combining. Good step by the number 11, Harshit Piris, in the touchline now, but knocks it forward. Referee stops the clock. He wants to have a word with his AR. This is what happened at that earlier scrummage. That was.
I think less said about that feed, the better.
Shoulder charge karane ba, right?
Don't think you'll make it more obvious in terms of how you're going to feed the ball into a scrum.
Shoulder charge.
So look, that looks like there was a shoulder charge into that breakdown. So these are the mirrors that St. Anthony's can't afford to do just when they've got a bit of momentum going their way. Royal will just put it right down. And a wonderful touch finder by Lehan Gunaratna. So opportunity for Royal to hit back immediately. There were danger signs looming at the start from their point of view, but now they've got a wonderful attacking opportunity. They can get this line out ball clearly. They have got it clearly and they've just driven it up. But the driving ball seems to have disintegrated. But again, the Antonians
Wait. Number 6, not crawling.
infringing at the breakdown.
Number 6.
So Gunaratna will just pop that into touch once again, and we'll have another line out this time 5 meters away.
Right, tackle kala me pathi ne ba.
So Silva not rolling away, conceding a penalty. Royal College, we all know what's coming next. Radishan, first things first, takes it correctly.
Get back.
Now Royal College on the move, inching close, and this will be the first try for Royal College in the second half. Jayasuriya getting his second. So another 5 points up, Royal College 22 points. A brilliant response to that first try by St. Anthony's College.
Yes, that's what Royal do best. The Anthonians infringing on a couple of times. Royal, as they have done many times over the last few years, just putting that in to the corner, getting a clean line out, setting the maul and driving, and from that kind of distance there's no stopping that driving maul. And hooker Rajindu Jayasuriya, the beneficiary once again, to extend this Royals lead to 22 points to 14 with the conversion from Malisha Pereira to come.
Malisha was not very successful in the first half, but in his defense there were quite difficult kicks. Hopefully he'll want to get this bisecting the post and start the second half on a high note. That's exactly what he does. So 7 points up, Royal College. 24 points to 14. The defending champions in the lead. It looks like they're in full swing.
That's what Royal have got to do now. They've just got to ensure that they control possession, not turn ball over, because these Anthonians, they've shown repeatedly how dangerous they can be when that is the case. And the other aspect they've got to ensure they do is to win that territorial battle, to try and play the game in the Anthonians' half as far as possible. Anthonians restart the game. This time Royal collects cleanly. It's taken into contact.
No, 3, no. Hey.
Nice little base kick. Cleanly collected. Shak just thumps the ball right down. Malisha is under it. A chance for Royal to launch a counter attack. Malisha steps one, steps the second, does brilliantly well. Links up with his wing three-quarter, but the Anthonian defense there on that occasion. Good attempt at a counter ruck, but Royal getting enough numbers for that breakdown. Spreading it out wide. Samara Singha makes a mini break, passes the ball over. Numbers out wide, Lehan Gunaratne passing the ball on to Radhishana, and Radhishana on this occasion showing a bit of butterfingers. Line was at his mercy, but some good built-up play after that wonderful counter-attack by Malisha. Samara Singha just identifying half gap, wonderful offload, taking the ball into contact. Royal getting numbers to that breakdown, good recycled ball. Gunaratne drawing the man well and passing. And if Radhishana caught that ball, line was at his mercy, but unfortunately for him and Royal, just knocking it on at that crucial moment.
Yes, Radhishan's second knock forward for the day. Not a good sign for the lad. Played brilliantly last year. Had a wonderful season. So did his teammate Kevin Samarasekara, who initially made that break.
Set.
Matishka this time around puts in a legitimate put in. Once again, St. Anthony's College getting caught up in their own 22, but fortunately for them, they had a penalty advantage coming their way.
Not binding.
The Royal College scrum. Flankers were not bound.
Yes, the Anthonians just don't seem to have learned from their mistakes in that first half. Intent on running the ball from their own 22. Fortunately for them on that occasion, I believe it was Kevin Samarasinha being penalized for not staying bound in the scrum. The Anthonians just clearing their line. They'll have the line out on the 40-meter mark.
Wow, on the line. Wow, on the line. Gap picker.
So we're approaching the 15th minute of
Right,
this
yeah, on the
second
line.
half. We've had two good scores. First of all by the Anthonians, some lovely creative play, and then a driving maul from Royal. Cleanly taken line out. Antonians spreading the ball out wide, taking it into contact. Recycling. Again spreading the ball out wide, going into contact.
No.
Again just playing a lot of rugby in their own half. Now they do have a bit of space out wide, but the ball not going into hand. So again finding themselves.
Stay back, yellow.
Spreading the ball out wide, some good passes, but Royal's defense rushing up and putting a lot of pressure. So finally deciding to go to the boot. And looks like a tackle was made while that Royal wing three-quarter was in there. The assistant referee has his flag out.
Hand in there. Blue number 9. Your recommendation? Penalty only. Blue to the penalty can do. Yellow. Number 9.
So it'll look like it'll be just a penalty, which is good to see. I think we've seen far too many yellow cards being dished out by referees in this first few matches of the Dialog League. Gunaratna finds touch about a 10 to 15 meter gain. It's like to see Royal just getting hold of position and keeping a bit tight.
Also make sure you could catch all the action from the 141st Battle of the Blues as the Roy Tour will take place on the 12th, 13th and 14th of March at the SSC grounds.
Number 12.
So you can catch all the
Yellow
action on
12.
Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub, ThePapare.com, Dialog TV and My TV as well. So it's the March Madness, and Dialog and ThePapare.com are ready to serve it to you. Royal College with another opportunity to form a rolling maul and drive forward. We've seen them drive from this distance earlier.
Yes, they've just got to try and slow the game down. But looked like there has been an error, so a knock on by Royal. So unusual error at line out time by Royal. It's like it'll just be a scrum. The Anthonian team have shown how dangerous they can be when they do have a bit of front foot ball. But Royal, on the other hand, their defensive effort has been very good. So Royal penalized on this occasion for not binding or getting ready for the bind. The Anthonians take a quick tap and go forward.
No. Do no. No.
So not staying on their feet is the call. Looks like the assistant referee has pointed out something again.
Yellow number 2. Blue number 2. Yellow carded and number 2 blue. Blue number 2.
So blue number 2 looks like he will be yellow carded. He's elbowed.
Blue number 2.
He's punched his opposite number with the elbow.
Neck roll. Right, Puta? Control kanda. Ilagata mokadda karanne? Mama ilang option ekata. What was the Right.
Very lucky to escape. We try to take a look at that once again.
Neck roll.
I think the signal is just that it's a high tackle, Yusran. If it was an elbow, I think definitely he would have had to go to a pocket. So the Antonians just showing a lack of discipline. Could prove costly.
So the game hasn't taken any turn. Flowing with the same momentum we did in the first half. A very stop-start affair. Not a seesaw battle, but just both teams making continuous infringement. And in the meantime, Isipatana College leading 12 points to 7 against Science College at Havelock Sports Club. Science were leading all this while, but Isipatana just managing to score and take the lead.
Line out from here.
A not straight call, a very rare error by Royal College. Gives St. Anthony's the opportunity to get out of jail and play in the opposition half, because the last 10 minutes they've been in their own half, putting on a lot of pressure.
Crouch. Bind.
Malishka Pereira
Steady, boys.
will want to feed in correctly this time. Matish Amarasinghe, a big tackle on him by Kevin Samarasekara. Wonderful tackle. And Royal have managed to steal possession. Straight away into contact. Indura Ilukpitia. Ravin Shenuka digging for that ball. Good run there by Jayasuriya, the try scorer. Very well latched on by his teammate. Using the backs now. Gunaratna gains some brilliant yardage. Brilliant running line there by Nanakara. And he will go over to score Royal College's 5th try. Wonderfully structured move, and Nanakara at the right speed, the right time and right place.
Yes, it all started from that wonderful tackle by Kevin Samarasinghe on the Antonian. Skip Amarasinghe just put him on his back, managed to turn possession over. And from that point onwards, the Antonians were constantly on the back foot. And I think it's a replacement, Nanakara, who ran that wonderful line, which was fed by scrum half Ravin Shenuka to go power his way over, really, to further extend this lead to 29 points to 14. And it just shows Yusran that you just cannot afford to make mistakes against this Royal team. St. Anthony's had a penalty in their favor, but it was overturned due to a high tackle, and Royal just capitalized on from that point onwards. Malisha Pereira, an opportunity to further extend this lead. So the kick goes astray. As we have a look at that replay once again. Ball taken into contact. Wonderful line by Nana Akara. Real impact player off the bench if ever there was one. A wonderful line. Antonian defensive effort was just not good enough to hold him off.
Knocked forward once again in St. Anthony's College. Spreading the ball into the corners. They have some fast runners, but nothing comes out of that. So possession given away to Royal College once again.
Yes, another knock on by Royal at kickoff time. Few work-ons before the next game for Coach Dushant Luke. The restarts, particularly the kickoffs and the lineouts, haven't functioned as smoothly as he would like. Got to keep in mind that this is yet the first game of the season. So it'll take a few games for both teams to absolutely hit their straps.
Slowly but surely, I think Royal College is finding their rhythm. Just in terms of ball handling, although they are finding the proper structure and proper pace that they want to play in, the ball handling is keeping them from getting an even bigger score, Abdullah.
Well, you could put that to both teams, isn't it? Even the Anthonians had opportunities, but at crucial moments, just not being able to hold on to the passes. But the difference is Royal have been much better in taking their chances whenever they have been presented. It's a hallmark of a team which is playing with a lot of confidence.
I think that's what championship winning teams do. They make it a habit to come back from any mistake. And being this the 100th year Royal College celebrates playing rugby, that'll boost the boys from Reed Avenue as they launch another attacking move. Looking to go into that opposition half as Ravin Chenuka takes his own time. Feeds the try score on Anakara with good ball. And immediately penalized for holding on.
Yes, and you have to say on that occasion, Royal probably a bit guilty of trying to play a bit too much rugby in their own half. But some good work by the Anthonian forwards to get their hands at that breakdown and force the penalty. So an opportunity now for them to kick it to the corner. To the Anthonians' credit, Yusran, their driving maul has been very effective as well today. They have definitely asked questions of that defensive effort by Royal at the maul time.
I think they've focused too much on how to stop the rolling maul and how to play against it, that they've missed out on a lot of other aspects of their playing patterns. But nevertheless, trying to make a good break there, but knocks back fortunately for them, and now they have space out wide. A wayward offload, and number 14 Nifras Mohammed unable to keep the ball alive. So another opportunity gone begging for St. Anthony's College.
Yeah, just when you felt that they had a chance of pulling something through, trying to force the issue, not showing enough patience just to create that extra phase. So it will be Royal's ball at line-out time. Anthonians will be desperate to try and disrupt this. But Royal brilliantly worked line-out ball using Samara Singh on this occasion. Malisha Pereira clears touch comfortably. A really good touch finder by Malisha Pereira. So some good work by the Royalists. First of all with that line-out play. Just foxing the defensive line-out effort of the Anthonians, and then Malisha clearing the lines brilliantly with a wonderful touch finder.
Number 7.
Samarsegara looked very confident in that line-out jump. As St. Anthony's now takes it quickly with a 3-man line-out. Good work there by the fly-half to recover from that loose ball. Looking for his options. Malishka. The forwards trying to barge their way through and breach that Royal defense line, but the Royalists doing good and intercepted immediately there by the number 14, Shamita Gunawardana, who will score under the post. He read that to brilliance, Abdullah.
Brilliantly led. He saw the line being worked. The Anthonians were just throwing the ball without any conviction. And Gunawardana was just in between his opposite number and the outside center and read it brilliantly to intercept that ball and put the finishing touches to that interception himself. And what you'd have to say in all probability would be the final nail in the Antonians' coffin. They're under the post conversion, which Malisha Pereira should have no problem in slotting over. So Malisha just slots that over without any problem to further extend Royals' lead to 36 points to 14. Very commanding looking scoreline as we have a look at that once again. The Antonians very lateral. Wonderful read by Gunawardena, you'd have to say, to intercept that and go over. There was really no front foot ball on any occasion by the Antonians, so it just gave Royal the opportunity to read that play very well and intercept it wonderfully.
No!
Not a clean take there from the restart, but does well to keep the ball alive, and brilliant run there by Vehan Mantila. So 10 minutes remaining in this game, 36 points to 14, Royal College in the lead. Good thumping kick there by Pereira. And the St. Antonian winger trying to toss a touchdown, but that's a very dangerous tackle. Very dangerous tackle. I hope the Antonian is okay. That was Kevin Samarasekara. Yellow carded. Rightfully so. So Royal College will be down to 14 minutes for the rest of the game.
It will all be, in all probability, the rest of the match as well. But I think Samarasinghe can consider himself very lucky that it was just a yellow card, because that was a very, very reckless challenge. It's probably poetic justice that he'll probably miss the rest of the game. There's no doubt that the citing commissioner will want to have a look at that once again.
Let's take another look at that in slow motion. He had no intention of going low, Abdullah. Take a look at that.
Wait.
Just dragged him down by the neck. Very lucky to get away with a yellow card.
So Royal will be down to 14 men in all probability for the remainder of this game. So an attacking an opportunity for the Antonians to make use of that one-man advantage.
Mall.
So the Antonians trying to launch a driving maul, but unfortunately knocking it on. It's been the story of the Antonians' effort whenever they have had something good going for them. Just haven't been able to put the finishing touches to those moves. Royal, on the other hand,
Right, number 8, please get back.
have been much more clinical in that aspect of the game.
And as per the under 19 rules,
Coach.
both
Set.
packs will have to be equal numbers.
Play on.
And now Royal College, Lehan Gunaratna feeding the ball to the fresh legs in the park. A good kick there, a good territorial kick. And if Royal College manages to steal this line out, they'll be able to extend their lead and put St. Anthony's College in more trouble and sealing the game.
Yes, that's very clever by Royal. Very smart play by them. Just putting the ball into the Antonian 22. They've just got to try and ensure that they play the game in the Antonians' half for the remainder of this game. And they've stolen that ball as well. But the Antonians have managed to recover that. Again, spreading the ball out wide, putting themselves under pressure.
Stay.
Again, just running across with nothing to gain. Royal defensive line just very well formed, not rushing on any occasion, not committing too many players to the ruck. And the Antonians finally deciding to clear the lines, and a good touch find on that occasion. So probably something which the Antonians would have done well to do earlier on in the game. They did put themselves under a lot of pressure earlier on.
Yellow.
So we're approaching the final 5 minutes
Time off.
of this second half.
There's a player down for St. Anthony's College. A key player, that is Shiva Haris. Scored a try, took on conversions. So he'll be a vital part for St. Anthony's throughout this league. Although they're slow, this game is slowly slipping away from them. They'll want to make a better impression later on. The 103rd Hill Country Battle of the Blues. Trinity College and St. Anthony's College. That battle will take place on the 13th and 14th of March at Asgiria at 9:30. You can catch the live action on thepapare.com. So make sure this weekend, the next and the rest, you bookmark, you subscribe, and you keep thepapare.com locked and tuned for all the sporting action across the country. In the meantime, Royal College substituting, bringing in some fresh legs with 5 minutes to go. Radishan will be jumping, but not cleanly taken, and now Malishka tries to fox the defense, but just not able to go past through, and another wayward pass which St. Anthony's has been consistently making throughout this second half. Just not finding their rhythm so far. The forwards trying to breach this defense line, but once again Royal College on the attack, but the ball carrier losing it in contact.
It's again Royal showing how dangerous they can be at the breakdown. If you don't have enough numbers supporting you, it can be
Number 10, blue.
very dangerous for the opposition.
That was Praveen Dilsan. Just came into the park. And unfortunate for him. Had he had a little more gas on him, he would be under the post or offloaded to an oncoming supporter.
He should have held on to the ball on that occasion. We were trying and forcing the issue. He was off balance when he tried to make that pass. Nonetheless, Royal wouldn't mind it too much because just about 3 minutes to go in this game. And they've got a scrum in on the Anthonian 22. So just need to show a bit of discipline, not concede a penalty.
Set.
Malishka will collect it. Harris, long cutout pass to the winger. Once again, a high tackle. This time around, it's number 22, Riley Douglas. Looked like a yellow card, and it is a yellow card. That's 24, pardon me. Avishka Gunawardena. So Royal College, continuous yellow cards for them, down to 13 men, but a little too late for St. Anthony's to make a comeback. Abdullah. 15 against 13 would have been ideal for them if they had a little more time on their hands. But they're trying to run this from their own half. Mati Shamar Singh in the corner. Harris looked a bit forward, but Royal College have managed to steal possession. Those are the kind of passes that has made this a horror story for St. Anthony's College. And Royal capitalizing, pouncing on that loose ball. Moving forward.
No, 16 now.
Rolling his way a few meters ahead. Support needs to arrive. Comes on time.
Use it.
Use it, says the referee. So Nana Kara waits for his mate to latch him on.
No.
Good rucking here by Royal College. Clearing it well. And now the fresh legs.
No.
Trying to make their impact on the game. Kavin Saranga feeding the ball well. He's giving some quick ball to his teammates as St. Anthony's College win that contest in the ruck as the ball bounces out.
No, 6.
But still in their own half. Madhava loses it. But fortunately for them, they had an advantage coming, Abdullah.
Yes, the Antonian, the Royal defense never on side from that breakdown. But Royal just playing for time here. Wouldn't mind spending as much time as possible in the 22. So Antonians taking a quick tap. Not much option. Probably the last play of the game. And Nanakara has turned that ball over.
No.
Long ranging hands. So another opportunity for Royal to put the finishing touches to what has been a decent performance considering it's their first game. And a lovely show and go. Just being tripped at the crucial moment.
Step back.
St. Anthony is defending. But Royal College all pumped up. Will be looking to add the icing on the cake. But with St. Anthony's, I just don't understand what their strategy is. However, Rajishan carrying the ball forward. The forwards doing all the hard work. Inching in now. Ever so close.
Tackle, release.
Tackler has to release. Radhishan's feet on the ground and the tackler doesn't roll away, so that'll be a penalty in the 5 meters for St. Anthony's.
Wait.
Yeah, that's right. Royal again showing some good patience to hold on to the ball. At close quarters, some good pick and goes. The Antonians on this occasion, though, Yusran, I don't think you can blame them too much. They had to run it. It's probably the last play of the game as well, so just threw everything, including the kitchen sink at the Royal defense, but mounting an attack just close to your gain line is always fraught with danger. And Royal generally one of the stronger defensive units in schools rugby, not going to allow the Antonians to make much headway.
On the line. Okay.
So Leon Guratna taking the short tap. Passing it on to Induara. Takes it into contact. They have men out wide. But on that occasion, Malisha Pereira just barging over to put the finishing touches to what has been a relatively impressive first performance by Royal. They had their moments when they were under the cosh, but always good enough to come out of it. So it's 41 points to 14. So Riley Douglas to take the kick. for Royal. Strikes it, but doesn't go through. So that'll be the final play of the game. Royal College ending up as comfortable victors, 41 points to 14. An impressive scoreline, but there were moments there when Royal were definitely under pressure, but showing some good composure to come out of those pressure situations. And I think Coach Luque will be relatively happy with that first performance. Few things to work on, probably the restarts, namely the lineouts and the kickoffs. But overall, I think Royal can take a lot from this first effort, and it'll give them a lot of confidence going into the remainder of the season. Three-time champions going for number 4.
I'm pretty sure all the other teams would have taken a closer look at how Royal College played today, looking at their lineouts, the scrums, all the set pieces. But I think there's a lot more Royal could offer. 41 to 14 points. Royal College winning this comfortably. And let's take a look at the highlights of this game. Royal College in the second half, St. Anthony's College started off with a blinder, brilliant try, and I thought for a second from there they'll capitalize and build up their game, but that's not what happened. Royal College made sure they dominated the second half. Tries came through this man, Rajindu Jayasuriya, who is also player of the match for today. Played a brilliant game in the lineouts, scored 2 tries, made tackles, and also the backs who contributed a lot for this Royal victory. Nana Kara, a brilliant run by him, saw Royalists take this game away, and this was Gunawardana who read that St. Anthony's line so well. There was no stopping him once he had his hand on that ball, and under the post he went, sealing the game for Royal College. And in the dying minutes of the game, Malisha Pereira diving over and scoring that all-important try, which put Royal College 41 points up in this game in the week 1 of the Dialog Schools Rugby League.
So the Antonians, they are with their coach Sumedha Malavana. As we have look at the summary, Royal scoring 7 tries to the Antonians, 2 tries. Player of the match, Royals hooker Rajindu Jayasuriya, and then scoring a couple of tries I thought was quite impressive, all over the park with his loose play as well. The Antonians showed flashes of brilliance, but not consistently enough to get a victory. So some positives for St. Anthony's, but they will need to really look at playing tactically a bit more sharper and wiser.
Yeah, if they only had that numerical advantage, 13 men against 15 earlier, that could have sparked something up, and they could have had a shot at winning this game. But unfortunately for them, Royal College being the 3-time defending champions was just too strong. Let's take a look at the upcoming fixtures. Next week's fixtures, St. Joseph's College will host St. Thomas's at Longdon Place on the 11th of March, and then on the 13th, St. Anthony's College will take on Trinity. Vidyartha will take on St. Peter's, will host them at Nittavela, and the next day on March 14th, Dharmaraj College will host Science College at Pallekele. Wesley College will take on Isipatana College at Longdon Place. I'm rooting for that to be a cracking game, Abdullah. And Royal versus Kingswood, also another very fast game. 2 different outfits. Royal College mainly relying on their forwards to do all the hard work, and Kingswood on their back. So that will be a big tester for Royal College.
Yes, next week's probably the 2 pick of the games, Wesley versus Isipatana and Royal versus Kingswood. Two outstanding matches to look forward to, all mixed up with a big cricket big match season as well. So a lot to expect and look forward to from this Dialog Rugby League next week. And so that's it from Reed Avenue, Royal College, opening the season with a comprehensive 41 points to 14 victory over St. Anthony's, and have taken their first step in their quest to defend their league title. That's it from Reed Avenue. We'll see you again next week.